Easy guys, Dom here from CDG. So, if you are new to DEADSIDE, you may be wondering what these red bunker doors are for and what's inside these bunkers. In this video, I'm just going to be generally discussing my experience with getting into these bunkers. I am playing on the PS5 and I did play a lot of DEADSIDE on the PC when it first launched into early access, but then stopped playing to play other stuff, I guess, and this is all new content to me. They've added all this in updates and now the 1.0 release has come to consoles. Yeah, I thought, well, why not jump back in, because I did enjoy my DEADSIDE experience in the past and I'm enjoying it again now. But these bunkers, yeah, let's just talk about these a little bit and a general discussion about what you're going to find inside and is it worth your time. So first things first, to get inside these bunkers, you're going to have to find yourself a bunker door key, which is a one-use key. You will find these, or at least I found mine, from random mission reward crates, from airdrop crates, from helicopter crashes, and also the convoy briefcase had one in, I believe, if I remember rightly. So randomly you will get these bunker keys, and once you're inside the bunker, you've then got to deal with all these murder turrets that are placed around and they will kill you quite quickly. There's also grenade tripwires down here too. I found using hand grenades will take out the turrets that are on the floor relatively easily. You can throw 2 hand grenades at them and they will explode, but the ones on the ceiling are a real pain in the backside. I've heard a few people mention that the dynamite bundles that you can craft out of dynamite sticks and rope are better for taking out these ones on the ceiling, but I don't know, the throwing mechanic of trying to throw stuff, like throwing the grenades, it's quite tricky, if I'm honest. I'm coming here with like medium gear. I've got a little bit of armor. It's not like my best armor. I'm not bringing my best armor to the bunker, and the reason being is if I die to one of these turrets right down in the depths, I'm probably not going to get my gear back. So I'm just using some mid gear that I got from a mission reward that I'm not too bothered if I lose. Now, if you can get behind some of these turrets on the ceiling, you can shoot them from behind, but I did miss a turret above the doorway. Yeah, some of the placement of these turrets in these bunkers are a little bit sneaky, so, you know, I would definitely recommend putting yourself a sleeping bag down outside the bunker door like I have here, and also having a little bit of backup gear outside, either in a vehicle or a friend waiting for you outside, because if I hadn't brought this stuff with me extra, then I wouldn't be able to get back to my body now, because I would just get constantly killed by these turrets. So the front of these sentry guns have an armor plate across the front, so you can't shoot them from the front. I think grenade launchers probably would work if you can get an angle. I haven't yet got a grenade launcher myself, but you can pretty much dodge a lot of these turrets if you're quick enough, and then get around the back and then, just as I've said, just shoot them. The shotgun and the knife doesn't seem to work from what I've tested. But as long as you've got like an assault rifle, you should be able to destroy these turrets from the back. So we've now got into the first room of this bunker. Now, I do also have to point out that the bunkers are all different. They're probably procedurally generated with what sort of loot you're going to find, and it's never going to be the same every time. And some of them are smaller than others. Now, I was quite disappointed with the loose loot that was around the outside. There was a little bit of useful stuff there, like that hand grenade, but it was mainly stuff that I'd probably find from completing an easy mission, or even just from just exploring and looting in general. I think I probably found better loot at the main city Kamensk than I had in this first room of the bunker. So straight away, the amount of grenades, time and effort it had taken me to get in this first room, I felt that the rewards in here were a little bit lackluster, but that's just my personal opinion. You could go into your first bunker room and find something absolutely epic, because as I've mentioned, it seems to be procedurally generated and just depends on what your luck stat is, I guess, in real life. You know, are you a lucky person? Sometimes I don't seem to be, but that's just the way it is. And again, it's all about perspective. I should be maybe feeling I'm lucky because I'm not dead. I'm still inside the bunker. However, there's still more turrets to deal with. And because I am still new to this whole bunker system and I'm still figuring it out, and there's still stuff that I'm still yet to learn, I guess, and you know, obviously I'm going through a learning experience right now with dying from turrets and figuring out ways of being able to take these down. There's more to these bunkers in terms of just finding weapons and useful items. I think it's mainly focused for people who want to do the base building stuff, and the reason that is because there's items down in these bunkers in these red boxes that you have to open up using vehicle repair, blowtorches to be able to unweld them, that have these components that you're going to need for certain base building items. Now, it's also going to depend on if you are playing the game as a PvP player, so player versus other players that can raid your bases, or if you are playing the game on the PvE, player versus environment, where people can't raid your bases and players can't kill you. Because the reason why there's a difference here is because some of these components that you're going to find in these red crates down in these bunkers are used to craft things like the automated sentry guns that you can use at your base to protect your base from other players. So really, if you're playing on a PvE server, you don't need those. There's no point. Bots can't raid your base, or at least they can't at this point in the game. So is there any point in that? No, probably not. If you are playing a PvP server, then yes, you're going to want to come down here to find those military components and the cameras. They're like CCTV cameras that you can use for your automated turrets to be able to craft them, amongst other things to be able to use to protect your base. For me, the only reason why I was down here, and that was because I was looking for these vehicle tool kits. There's like these red toolboxes, and the reason why I was looking for some of those is because I wanted to see if I can keep a vehicle on my base. And I'm not just talking about one of these crappy old mutt bikes, which you just need spark plugs and engine oil to be able to upkeep and stop them from degrading. Let me elaborate a little bit more on that, just for those of you who don't know. Once you've got your base set up, if you put a vehicle on your base or inside your base, it will literally degrade over time, the same as your base does if you don't put the required items in the cupboard within your base to stop it from degrading, right? So the bikes, it's pretty cheap and easy to stop that from happening because, like I said, it's just a spark plug and oil. But with the vehicles such as the Jeeps or Land Rovers or whatever you want to call them, you need vehicle toolkits, which are like these showed as these red boxes or red box icons. And from what I can tell so far, the only places you can find those are inside these bunkers. So, like, if I want to keep one of those vehicles on my base, then yeah, these vehicle toolkits are what I'm looking for, really. That's what I'm down here for. But as I've said, it depends on how you're playing the game and what you want to get out of it. For some of you, you might just like the challenge of trying to get inside the bunker and try and, you know, luck out on a little bit of handy loot. For me, I found it a little bit laborious, if I'm honest. For what I've found loot-wise, yeah, I know you're probably going to say, oh, Dom, you're such a miserable git. Yeah, kind of. Maybe I am a bit of a miserable git. For me personally, though, I felt like the cost of all the grenades, and even not just the cost in terms of buying them, if I had spent the time, which I did, going out there and exploring the world and doing missions, to stash up some grenades, for what I actually found down here, I personally felt wasn't worth the cost. Personally, like in this box here, look, like repair items for armor, which I can just get from breaking down crappy old armor that I've got off of dead AI bots at my workbench. So that means nothing to me. What I've just found in that loot box, that's nothing. That's junk in my opinion, right? In this room, however, when I can finally get past this turret, which is actually in quite a difficult spot to get, I did actually find a marksman rifle, which is worth just over, well, it costs just over 100,000 at the trader. So that for me was something a little bit more worthwhile. I was like, okay, finally, I found something a little bit more worthwhile. I do kind of feel that I think the loot on the PvP servers and the PvE servers probably needs to be different. At the moment, I'm playing on a PvE server because I wanted to be able to get into these bunkers and just figure them out without having to worry about other players killing me as well as these turrets trying to kill me. So, you know, I think if you was playing on a PvP server, you'd probably be happy with what you found in these red containers down here that you open, because you're going to be able to build yourself some sentry guns to protect your base for when you're not at your base from other people raiding it. Where I'm playing on a PvE server, no one can raid my base, you know, so it makes no difference to me. What I do want to find on a PvE server are better weapons, better gun attachments, better armor to be able to protect me when I'm doing the harder missions from the AI bots. That's pretty much it. And yeah, the loot that I was finding down here wasn't that great. But now we've cleared out some of the sentry guns, we can now unweld these red containers, and this is pretty much what you're going to find in these red containers. You're going to find these military electronics, which again, like I said, are irrelevant to me, but the main important thing is the mechanics tools, so we can keep the vehicle on our base. And now if I want to keep that Land Rover that I've got on my base, I can keep one on my base now without it disappearing overnight, and I can lock that up inside my base. Happy days. I think the amount of tools that I found down here meant that I could keep this vehicle on my base for 5 days in real life. So, you know, one bunker run, I got enough to keep this vehicle for 5 days. Now begs the question, and again, it's just the way my cynical mind thinks, maybe, that rather than me going through that whole process, I can just run out of my base when I log in to play the game for the evening or whenever I'm playing, find a bike, which is normally just sat there around the world, drive to one of these military locations and just find myself a jeep, probably within 10 minutes, and then just use that for my gameplay session. You know, so it's not hard for me to get a jeep. It's not really something that would cause me a massive headache. This, I felt, was harder work and I had to spend way more resources in terms of the cost of the grenades and the faffing around just to get a few vehicle toolkits to be able to keep a vehicle on my base. I personally don't feel that the loot I'm finding down here is bunker loot, in my opinion. If I was a game designer, I'd be putting down here unique weapons, unique armor sets, stuff that you can't buy or find in the world. Finding Gorka clothing down here, come on guys, I can find that from an AI patrol walking along the road. Like, I can just kill them and take their clothes. It's not loot that I would expect to be bunker worthy, and I know they're still probably fleshing this stuff out, but that's what I would like to see down in these bunkers. You know, I'd like to see a fully kitted out rifle with all the best attachments, gear that you can't get anywhere else. And as I've said, you know, same with like unique armor sets that when you're wearing them, other players are gonna say, whoa, where did you get that, bro? And say, yeah man, there was this really big bunker and I found it right in the depths. It's going to make people want to go and do the bunker runs. You know, for me at the moment, there's not really much incentive for me to want to come back and do another bunker. Like I said, I don't really care about keeping this Jeep on my base. I could just go and pick one up at the nearest military location, you know, when there's a mission. But, you know, that's just my view on it. You know, we're all different. Some of you guys might like the challenge. You might like, you know, trying to get into these bunkers and try and take out these turrets. Could be fun for you. For me, I found it a little bit laborious, just purely for the fact that I didn't find that much great loot. Trying to get in this last room here, though, I did fumble a couple of grenades there, hitting the top of the door. Kind of did put me in a position where I was probably going to die. One thing I did actually forget to mention, you notice there is a key in my inventory. Now, apparently there's black boxes down here. So I've heard that those keys that says they unlock something. Again, a key I just got from like looting one of the, I think it was a helicopter crash I got some of these keys from. Apparently with some half decent looting. So there's me saying, you know, I'm looking for like exclusive you know, gear. So from what I've heard in these black boxes can be like weapon skins and stuff like that, from what I've heard people say. But I'm yet to find one of these boxes in the bunkers, so I don't know if it's something that I've just not, I've just been unlucky and I just haven't found it again. We're talking about that luck stat again here, or if they don't really exist. We did find tucked away behind this generator here, though, a sneaky little marksman rifle, which is I think just over 100 grand to buy the NK417. It takes 308 round. It's not as powerful as the VSD or the Mosin, but it's a nice little semi-auto marksman rifle. So, you know, kind of a nice little gift to kind of, I guess, ease my pain a little bit. But yeah, as I said, really I was here just to try and find some of these vehicle toolkits. But that's pretty much it. That's my experience in the bunker. You know, they do seem to be procedurally generated. You know, the other two that I'd done before this were a lot smaller, so they do vary in size as well. And the loot is also kind of a bit mixed up. So basically what I'm trying to say is I think every time you go into a bunker, the loot and the experience is going to be slightly different. But, you know, I mean, how do you guys feel about this? Have you tried the bunkers? Have you aced the bunkers yet? What are your feelings on it? Are they worth it? Yeah, I mean, tell me in the comments how you guys feel about these bunkers. Could they still be, you know, built upon by the developers? Could they be made better? Because I personally think they could. For those of you that are new though, you might have now, you know, learnt a little bit more about the bunkers if you've not been in them yet. If you've not really seen much about it, but there we go. That's pretty much it. Nothing else really to see here, guys. That's it. So just watch this space for more DEADSIDE content on the channel soon. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another video. Thanks for watching.